What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of My Team Career Mode. Today, we are here for the Dutch Grand Prix of our season 2 of our career. So, if you guys missed the previous episode, do check that one out as it was quite a hectic race. And now we are just doing some practice sessions so that we can get some much needed R&D points and improve our car. So, right now we are at the back marker car. So, whatever points we can get, it is good for us because obviously we have to move away from this territory of back marker. And it is a dry Grand Prix, so we need not worry about any wet setups as we have some R&D upgrades which have failed earlier, so we have to now improve upon them. So let's see what we can bring to the table at this Dutch Grand Prix, as this is the setup which I will be running at this race. And in this first Q1 lap, you can see we are just going for a banker lap, so it is not going to be very crazy or anything, but I was just trying to get in terms with the setup which I have chosen, and we go P22. So it was a very slow lap because obviously our car is very draggy at the straights, and the straight line speed is, that's why, not as much as it can be. And you can see in our second lap we are just going 1.3 seconds over our previous lap, so that is the amount of track evolution which has happened. But still we are at P21, so it is a disappointing Q1 session for our team, as I think, yeah, our teammate is in P21 and we get demoted to P22. So I'll be going for some different strategy here. So I'll be choosing for the soft to hards. And I'm thinking of doing this strategy because to gain the straight line speed and also to use the softness to good effect, as Leclerc, Sainz and Verstappen are in the top 3 of the grid and we are at the back marker, so obviously we'll be in P21 and Dragovic is in P20, as it is 5 red lights and away we go for the start of this Dutch Grand Prix. And it is a tentative start as Lance Stroll also overtakes us, so the cold starts are not very comfortable in this game, as we are just going down the inside at this turn 1, and we are just trying to keep our front wing intact and not getting collided with the other cars, because obviously this track is very narrow and it is quite a difficult thing to go 2 wide or 3 wide in this track. As you can see, we are just going 3 wide and it is just about enough space for us to keep a wheel on the track. So it is going to be a difficult Grand Prix because obviously the overtaking opportunities here will be limited. The DRS train is quite powerful, and I think we also do not have the much needed engine power to make some overtakes, as we just make an overtake on Schwartzman. He just left the room and you take the cake when it is offered to you. So yeah, at the start of the lap 2 you can see we again go for a dive bomb on Mick Schumacher. So I think we have to go for overtakes when there is some room which is given by our competitors, as we are just pushing Guan Yu Zhou. You can see how much close we were to his diffuser and we almost collided, and I thought we almost lost our front wing. So it is going to be a difficult race, as Guan Yu Zhou is just ahead of us and he's the Aston Martin car, so he's just above us in the R&D chart. So Aston Martin is not a great car, but still it has the straight line speed because of the Mercedes engine. We have to make some overtakes at the turn 1 itself, because that is where the Aston Martins and Haas are leaving some space. And now you can see Tsunoda is just ahead of us. Can we make the move stick? We are just opening our DRS, using the ERS and the full effect, and we're just sensing an opportunity to go down the inside at this turn 1. Let's see what we can do. And we sense an opportunity and go down the inside, but we could not break well, and we go into the gravel trap. So it was a difficult overtake, as we just made a kerfuffle of that. And in the next lap again we were sensing an opportunity, but it was too far to make a dive bomb. So yeah, I think we ruined one opportunity to make an overtake. So we have to take into consideration of such mistakes, and we have to be careful with our braking also, so that after making an overtake we do not go into the gravel trap. As in the lap 8 you can see we are just behind Tsunoda and we are almost touching the diffuser. So it is quite a grind in this Grand Prix because our soft tires are just giving up, as Max Verstappen is out of the session. So he has an engine failure in his home Grand Prix, and it is one Red Bull out at this Dutch Grand Prix. So now we are thinking of either going to the pits and doing an undercut, because our tire wear is also very high and we are not able to gain some positions in front of us, but our teammate goes into the pits at the end of lap 11. So I was thinking that maybe our teammate will be going, so I avoided going on that lap. As you can see, our tire wear is 64% and it is in the puncture territory. So our tire wear is 64% and we cannot take any more risks, as we are also losing some time in the delta. So I was thinking just, yeah, at the end of lap 12 we should go into the pits, as the pit limiter is quite slow. So I was a bit tentative on how much we have to slow the car. We are just bringing the hard tires and let's see what we can achieve from here, as it is lap 13. And at the end of the pit lane you can see we just made hash of the white line, which is the pit lane exit, and we choose the esports line, which is not quite the thing you want in this career mode videos, because our tires were very cold and we just couldn't stop the car at the pit lane exit. And you can see there is another yellow flag. So let's see. This is Mick Schumacher and he goes for a spinella. I mean, at the turn, the Haas car is just putting on too much throttle, and which led Mick Schumacher to go for a spin. So it was not a decent Grand Prix for the Haas team. As at the lap 14, you can see we are just pushing so hard. I mean, lap after lap, we are just doing quali laps, because obviously this tire does not degrade fast, so we can go full throttle. As we are gaining some time in front of us to Albon, and Piastri is gradually catching us. You can see now he's just half a second behind us, and it is quite a difficult thing, because now we are just pushing so hard. You can see we are going the limits with this car, because obviously there is less overtaking opportunity, and now all we have to do is defend the position from Piastri. And since Piastri is an Alfa Romeo, which is a far superior car to us, so it will be quite a thing to keep Piastri behind us, because obviously he's a much faster car. So let's see what we can do here, as we are just sending it absolute send. We are not looking to give the position to Piastri, because every position counts now. It will be good for the focus of our teammate, and it will also improve our chances to hire a better driver. As you can see, Piastri is just going around the outside, and we just managed to keep our car inside, and he just mounts the curve, which unsettles his car, and he couldn't make that overtake. So it is quite a challenge in defending from the likes of Piastri, and we are just trying to gain as much time as we can by parking our car at the apex, because the apex is where the other teams are trying to target. So if we can just park our car at the apex, we will be having some much needed time to gain. As you can see, in the lap 33, Piastri is just behind us, again 4 tenths behind us. So it will be quite a challenge to keep him behind, because let's see, because he has some fresher tires to compare to us, because we went for an undercut. So he'll be having some at least 3 to 4% fresher tires than us, and we have to take into consideration of that, as we're still improving in our lap. You can see in the steering wheel, the delta compared to previous lap is improving. So we are just pushing so hard, despite the fact that we are quite low in the ERS, and we go purple in the third sector. I don't think that is quite a reality, because maybe that is a bug, I don't know. I mean, I was pushing hard in the lap, but so now in the start of the lap 35, you can see we are just gaining, as we are just pushing ahead so much that we have at least a buffer of 1.5 seconds from Piastri. And obviously we cannot catch Albon, because he's 3.6 seconds ahead of us, and Piastri is 1.5 seconds behind us, as Charles Leclerc takes the win at the Dutch Grand Prix. So GG's to Charles Leclerc and Ferrari. And now you can see we have gained a comfortable margin from Piastri. So in the last 3 laps, we were just pushing so hard. You can see we have no ERS. Whatever ERS we have, we are just using it in the straight only, because ultimately, because Piastri cannot overtake in the final third sector, so we have to utilize the ERS in whatever time we get. And I think it was a very challenging Grand Prix to me, because obviously this track is very narrow and overtaking is a difficult thing, but still we managed to claim the P14 position, despite the fact that our tire wear is about 68%. So I would say it is a very satisfying Grand Prix, because we started from P21 and we ended in P14. So it was a good thing. At least we are improving in some way. So as our teammate is in P20 position, so he did not improve much. As Charles Leclerc takes the lead further from Max Verstappen, and Carlos Sainz is just behind them. So it will be battle for the P2 position. And in the constructors also, Mercedes are catching up to the likes of Red Bull. So we will have to see who gets the P2. And it is going to be a crazy season, as Daniel Ricciardo will be retiring at the end of the season. So GG's to his career, and we are still at the bottom of the R&D chart, so we have to improve, as we also get some new sponsors, and we are just putting the logos onto our car. So yeah, this was about the Dutch Grand Prix, and if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe this channel for daily F1 22 content, and we will meet you again in the next Grand Prix, which will be at Italy. So till then, peace.